Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Pulse, the go home show for our show, Goldrush. Both singles titles are on the line, and both number one contenders are on the line. We're going to be having a great show coming up tomorrow. Make sure you tune in. But before we get to that, we've got to talk about it a little bit here. So we got some people coming on the show. First one we've got coming on, he's fairly new here at Heart and Soul Promotion, but he's got a shot at a match coming up against the Bossolini Carter Diamond. Welcome him to the show, Draven666.
Hello, hello, hello.
All righty, and he's been hanging out backstage. He's been recovering from his injuries. We hope to get some word of how he's coming along, but we know he's always got something to say. Please welcome him to the show, John.
I wonder if I could sit here and just do a monotone voice the entire time. I know I'll stir up a little craziness backstage and in the audience for doing monotone the entire time.
Well, we don't want to stir up too much because we got someone else who loves to come on here on the Pulse. He loves to make waves, but when he makes waves, people talk. They should call him the EF Hutton of promo, the Young Gun.
Post tonight on a beautiful Wednesday night. We got a show coming up tomorrow, and we got some other things to discuss tonight. But we can go on to the show first.
I was going to say, we were told you had an important thing you wanted to talk about here, so we're going to start right off with it.
Actually, yes, I do. I hope Dr. Quack is watching because I need you to relay something back to Real Talk. You see, I am as good as I say that I am. And the problem is with old school, you say that I swear too much. Well, how much of my material have you actually watched? Just because I use a little bit of cussing in my promos doesn't mean I can't articulate a point better than any man in the game today. So you'll see tomorrow after I wipe the floor with AEP and Sergeant Havoc, and you'll have something to talk about next Monday, how much cursing I'll do. And you're over here in Heart and Soul Promotions. So we can see who the real promo artist actually is. And I won't sit here and listen to any more disrespect. And as for the Soulfire Championship, you better pray you make it past Shady, because I'm coming for the Soulfire Championship. Stop playing with me, Mo. What's wrong with these fools, bro?
All right. I'm good. So Dr. Quack is watching, and he says, I picked you, Young Gun.
Come on now. You know who to pick. Like, you know who to pick. Like, it's the easiest pick in the world is to pick Dr. Quack. I mean, to pick Young Gun. Come on now. But my problem is that I'm an elevated promo artist. And the people that they have going out of the Soulfire Championship in the first place aren't on the same level as the Young Gun. I just don't like the fact that my style and the approach on how I do this when I'm one of the most original, the last shooter. I call myself the last shooter because I'm the realest man left in promo wrestling today. No one comes on this screen and keep it honest no more. And the disrespect from a man who's only probably watched 3 of my matches for real, since I've come back on my sabbatical. Come on now, stop playing with my top, man. That's all I'm saying. Stop playing with me. But you'll see tomorrow night.
All right. Well, I want to ask this of the other two here. This is a controversial topic. Language, colorful blue language. So we'll start with Draven, then we'll go into John here. Do you think it helps or hurts you to use that, or do you think people should be allowed to say what they want to say? What's your thoughts?
To me, people should be allowed to say whatever the hell they want. At the end of the day, words are just words, and you attach the significance to them that you choose. It can only offend you if you allow it to. That's my honest opinion.
All right. All right. John, your thoughts?
I kind of do agree a little bit to what Draven is saying. You should be able to say what you're going to say. However, can you get your point across? If you can get your point across and still use the language you want to use, So be it. Just know that, hey, somebody may not like it.
And that's fair. And Young Gun, I will agree. Young Gun is a very, very entertaining character. We were happy when he reached out to us and said he wanted to come back. We hated to lose him the first time. So I'm of the opinion that, make your words mean something. I agree with what you guys said. And that's I think the best thing. Unless Young Gun, do you have anything else you wanted to add in on the subject before we move on?
My personal thing is I can understand like a certain promo artist out here in the promo verse, and we can be real about it, who does use fucking every other word, who does cuss every other word. But the problem is it doesn't sound natural, it doesn't sound right. When you hear the young gun speak, this is how I will talk to you on the street. If I see you in person, this is how I will talk to you. That's just what it is. Now, if it makes sense within the promo, within the story I'm telling, then come on now, it's gonna win. But the problem is y'all get too hard on people who use the colorful language because you think it's unprofessional. You like, no, it's not unprofessional. It's just the way we speak. And if you got a problem with that, see me in a promo match and see how this colorful language will pair up with you. That's it.
All right. So let's move on now. We've got a big show coming up here, Gold Rush. Both singles titles on the line, both number one contenders matches. And this was just announced by the competition committee. We are starting off with that number one Soulfire triple threat, which means AEP, Sergeant Havoc, and the Young Gun. So we'll come to Young Gun last here. So, John, that match is opening the show. I like to get your thoughts on the thoughts of this being the opening match with this stacked card, and your thoughts on who you think is going to come out on this one.
My thoughts on what it's going to be. It's a great opener. You can see how fired up Young Gun is right there in front of us on screen. He looks like he's ready to go pretty much shoot up an entire block right now if he really had the opportunity to do it. And I'm scared for AEP and who was it? Sergeant Havoc?
Sergeant
Chaos.
Havoc.
So I'm gonna go Young Gun. I just please don't disappoint me because I need that pick.
All righty. And Draven, I know we'll talk about your match here in a little bit. You're paying attention to this match because whoever's the number one contender is going to be facing the Soulfire champion, and you've got a shot at qualifying to be a number one contender in another match later on. So what's your thoughts on this triple threat opening the show?
I have to honestly agree with John. I think Young Gun is probably going to take this. I've seen his work in here and out as well, and I just don't see them two overcoming him at all.
All right. Well, I know Promo Vegas also picked Young Gun to win, so we're going to see if the odds makers got it right. Dr. Quack said he's also picked the Young Gun. Excuse me. He said, don't sleep on the old name of him, Sergeant Chaos, now Sergeant Havoc. And I will agree, Sergeant Havoc has shown a lot of improvement in his time at Heart and Soul. He's branched out and he's won titles in other places. But the Promo Vegas has picked the Young Gun. The Young Gun's fired up, so we're going to see what happens here. We're moving on next to the match that everybody cares about, this Soulfire title match. Heathen won his match. He'd been trying and trying and trying, and the fates never worked with him. He finally won the Soulfire. He got his one-on-one match, and he won. And his first match, Shady Sean McKenzie, who cashed in his golden ticket because he's a former Pure Heart champion who made a title defense. John, Shady, Heathen.
You see, I understand Shady Sean McKenzie had a golden ticket, but what has Shady done as of late? Shady could barely put a promo up against me, and yet somehow, just because he got a golden ticket, waltzes his way into a Soulfire Championship match. Now, I talked about how Young Gun has this fire, this determination, this just aura about him that he's ready to pretty much go off on anybody. And I've said it before, I'm going to say it again after Heathen won the championship. You're pretty much going to have to sit there and pry it off his cold, dead body to get it. He fought so hard to get it, and then now all of a sudden, somebody's going to sit there and try to take it, not even, 2 months in? Good luck. I'm going
And
Heathen.
that's something that I want to add in on that thought. And John, I'll let you go with that, and then we'll move around here. Some people are chasers. Once they win the belt, they don't have the fire anymore. That has been known well across the wrestling community that sometimes people just, when they get the belt, they no longer are competitive. Sting was a prime example. So was The Rock. Two people who were never great champions, but were always great chasers. Do you think the Heathen is a chaser, or do you think he will have a successful match and show he's championship caliber?
I'm going to sit here and say it because I know if someone doesn't, then you're going to hear the Highway Hellraisers just sit there and chime in. He's a champion. He's been a champion before. I believe he has said they, or well, no, Bossellini is going to correct me on this one, but the longest reigning tag team champions in a single period, if I remember right, is the Highway Hellraisers. They have come in and faced the toughest competition possible. So yeah, and granted, yes, this is a singles title. He doesn't have Rig to sit there and be by his side and help him continue to keep on that championship. So I don't know. It's again, cold dead body. Gonna have to pry it from him. It's hard to explain on that. He's championship material. He's proved it in the tag division. He proved it when he won the championship, and I don't have any reservations that he's going to sit there and do it again tomorrow night.
All right. Draven, your thoughts on this match and the posed question, is Heathen a champion or is he a chaser?
I think from what I've seen out of Heathen, I think he could be a champion.
Okay.
But that would be, yeah, he's a great artist, but maybe if you can beat him, then that will get confirmed or it will get denied. But I strongly believe he will be a champion and prove that he can hang on to it and not just get lucky and win it anywhere.
All righty. And same question to you, same two questions to you, young gun. I know you said your goal is to get either one of them because you want that Soulfire title. But I want you to play a little devil's advocate here and take a look at the match from the objective point of view first as the analysis of you're studying your opponents.
Katie is dangerous. Well, I think we're all picking Heathen, but we really know how dangerous Shady is. Shady is a former Pure Heart champion. Like, Shady don't want some matches here, bro. Like, he ain't no slouch. So I know he's gonna bring his A game tomorrow, but that Soulfire style is something that Heathen has definitely mastered and conquered. And he's been a champion all over the place. Yeah, I don't really give a damn about none of that. This is my only problem that I have. And I'm picking Heathen for this reason alone. Heathen runs around here talking about how much he beat my ass. And I'll admit, when I was in a tag team with Mr. Wallace, who we'll get to later, he did it. But I'm back, HSP, and the one thing that'll make this journey back here sweeter will be taking that Soulfire Championship away from Heathen's cold, dead hand.
All right. I want to ask this question of all of you because
but before we move on, I have one thing I want to add. You talked about champions or like a championship material or contenders and pretenders. Shady, when he won the Pure Heart Championship, how many defenses did he have before he lost the title?
0.
So
One.
he had one. So at the end of the day, could we technically put Shady Sean McKenzie in that not really championship material? he got his way there. He got to the dance. He won the championship, but couldn't really hold on long enough to actually make a difference. Now, again, I'm watching Dr. Quack blow up the comments. Shady Sean McKenzie, long-winded, not used to that 2-minute time limit. As Young Gun has pointed out, Heathen's been mastering it to get to where he's at.
Yes. And that was the very point I wanted to bring up. Dr. Quack said that. Can Shady do a 2-minute promo? It's not easy. And I'm going to ask this question because I am not a promo artist. I am a former professional wrestler who has done vignettes and has done live promos in the ring where time isn't a factor. So we're gonna come to the Young Gun last on this one. We'll start with you, Draven. Most promos are anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes in most companies. Here, the standard is 3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
2 minutes. Is that an advantage? Does it make it easier or does it make it harder?
To me personal, I think it can, depending on what you're trying to say, it can be both.
Okay.
Depending on the kind of, depending on what you actually want to say, the route you want to go down. 2 minutes cannot get it effectively across, but then 2 minutes can. So,
Alrighty. And John, I know you've competed in 2-minute matches. You've had Soulfire shot. What's your thoughts on the 2-minute match? Is it easier in general or is it harder in general?
Speaking from my experience, it's difficult because you could sit there and you do the promo and then you sit there and go back and you're like watching it and you're like, okay, I need to make this faster. And then it's like you tend to want to speed up what you're going to say because you want to throw so much at your opponent because you have that short amount of time. You're worried about, am I saying enough or am I not saying enough? For me, it's difficult. Now we look at competitors like A-List, who has done well on both. He has won championships on both, from both sides. He's done well at 2 minutes. Heathen has done well at 2 minutes. Competitors like, let's look at other competitors. Rig would probably not do well at a 2-minute promo. He's long-winded. Shady Sean McKenzie, I'm sorry, you're a little long-winded to get to the point. You have that issue as well. So one person I would say is a dark horse on doing a 2-minute promo, even though his cadence is so slow, would be Prince Blackheart because his words, what he says is going to sit there and hit harder. Like I won't even say, like, I won't hide it from anybody. My main thing when I went to go against Johnny Blade was I went so fast that I had shots that I took. I didn't let them sit and land. I just kept throwing, and not letting my words just land and represent itself. So, for a hint to anybody who's going to do a 2-minute promo and try to take on that Soulfire division, let your words land. Don't worry about it being too fast.
All right, and Young Gun, you've gone on record many times saying, pound for pound, the best talkers are Soulfire, where they only have 2 minutes. So I'd like to give you the final thought on this.
I can name 3 legends in this game right now, even though one of them is a forbidden name that people might not like that much. It's fact. A-List Alverson, Mr. Wallace, Hollywood Haywood. 3 of the best talkers I've ever heard in a promo match outside of the BWO, because BWO got like 5. We ain't talking about them right now. And they all held the Soulfire Championship. So you have, when you're going out to the pure heart, you want to make that promo more grand, more, it'll be a very pretty promo. You can actually take time and dissect your opponent the way you want to. Now, when you go for that Soulfire, you're in that time limit, but you got to make sure everything just hit hard. Like it's comparing a UFC fight to a boxing match. Soulfire is more like a UFC fight where you got 3 5-minute rounds or 5 5-minute rounds, and you just in there getting it how you live. With a boxing match, you got 12 3-minute rounds or 10 3-minute rounds, and you're just sitting there, trying to get your opponent. Most guys on the street sides look pretty with it. You feel me? So it's with the Soulfire and those 2-minute promos, you really got to bring your A game. And you really got to know how to hit hard. And that's why I feel as though the Soulfire Championship is a championship that I need to hold, because I feel as I'm the hardest hitting promo artist in the game today. So,
all right. Well, I want to ask this also of John and of the Young Gun. You both have competed in live. So which do you think is more challenging? 2 minutes or thinking on your feet in live? John, we'll start with you on this one. Oh.
I don't know. I can't sit here and say that because it's one. That's saying it's 1A, 1B. There are certain, as I think we have pointed out, there are certain competitors that can do both, and Young Gun has pointed some of them out, and there are some competitors who can't, and I would say they're kind of to me they're the same. It's because when you're doing your live, yes, you are, as you said, thinking on your feet. You have to sit there and be able to react and also be able to like, oh, well, this didn't work, so I'm gonna now pivot to this. 2-minute promo could do about the same. So
okay. And Young Gun, your thoughts?
I love John. John, a homie, man. You know what I'm saying? If y'all remember way back when, one of my last matches here, me and John took a walk around DC. You know what I'm saying? So I love John. I'm gonna preface that by saying this, but I totally disagree with John. I don't think that 2-minute Soulfire match is harder than a live match. And the only reason I say that is because with a Soulfire match, if I stumble, if I mess up, I can shut off the camera, redo it again, retake it again. In a live match, if you stumble, if you stammer, if you're thinking too much, it's all on your face. Everything is reacting. Right now, if I'm in a live match right now where my opponent say something and I'm cut off and I'm stuck, that 1 second, 2 second, 3 second pause can really affect you. So you have to adapt your style to be more on your toes. And that's why I feel as though in a live match I'll do really well, because I can adapt on my toes. Yeah.
And I will say as well, the first live match I ever saw was the Mad Dog Dan Moore against the American Roughneck. And Roughneck said something that made Dan laugh on live promo. The match was over at that point.
Tin Man's also good at that as well.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. Tin Man is a genius. When I used to get on the pulse with the Tin Man will break me 78% of the time. I'll be sitting here just ducking my head down and just laughing outside the camera.
Well, I want to get one more thought on this, talking about the 2-minute, 4-minute, or live matches. Coming here, he's an expert on this, a former tag team champion, and fighting for the #1 contender for that pure heart. Please welcome him to the show, Rig. Rig, welcome, sir.
Hello. Thank you, Mr. Mayhem, for having me on. What's up, BB Gun? Mean mug me all you want. How's everybody else doing? Now, John, you kept saying Highway Hellraisers and Rigs so much that I couldn't help but just allow my face to, satisfy you there.
So let's
I'm glad you're here.
Let's add this into this conversation. We were talking about your brother, Heathen, in a Soulfire title match with Shady Sean McKenzie. They all said Rig is long-winded and would not do well in the Soulfire. You have even said and put it in your contract that you do not want Soulfire matches without your express permission.
Exactly.
So, your thoughts on 2 minutes versus 4 minutes versus live promos? Which are the hardest ones and which are the easiest ones?
Well, I'm gonna say it like this. 2-minute promo. I've done them before, not necessarily a Soulfire match, but I've done them before, and they're challenging. Especially when you're long-winded. I can't disagree with what's being said. As far as which one's the most difficult, I honestly got to say a live match, man, because oh Lord, is it, man, is it gonna snow in hell or something? I got to agree with the BB gun. You know, anything whatsoever that you do wrong, it's over with, man. It's counted against you. It can be used against you. You know, it's just that simple. I mean, when it comes to a live match, there is no margin for error. Period. I mean, you could possibly get away with making a mistake, but you got to be able to be that quick to get it back.
All right. So next match we'll talk about here, since Draven is here. Draven 666 and the Bossellini Carter Diamond. Carter Diamond has been many times saying that his goal has always been the Soulfire. Draven, you've been trying to make your way here, get things figured out. The booking committee kind of hasn't worked with you very well, but now you've got what you've asked for. One-on-one match with some real competition. So we'll give you the first thought on you versus Bossellini.
Obviously, it's not going to be an easy match at all. But the way you get better and the way you measure yourself up is going up against people who are great. And that's what I want. I want to test this myself. And if it means going up against somebody like Carter Diamond, then so be it. I would rather die on my sword than take the easy way out. And if it means dying on my sword against somebody like Carter Diamond, then so be fucking it.
All right. Well, we're gonna start with John on this one. We're gonna say Dr. Quack, who's been gracious enough to join us here today. This is my upset pick: Draven over Boss. Your thoughts?
Hey, Dr. Quack, could you please come on screen? I'd like to have you talk about it. I hate having to pull up my phone and like see the comments going up and down on the screen. It's gonna be, as Draven said, it's gonna be a tough match. I don't really remember seeing Bossellini in a 2-minute match, so I can't say if it's gonna be an advantage towards him. But at the end of the day, experience I think will be the edge. So
So
I have no choice. I'm going.
I'm going to post this of the people that are here. Dr. Quack said, "Do you really want me on?"
Yes,
So
bring him on. I want to hear it. I want.
everybody is fine with Dr. Quack appearing on the screen.
Yep.
Then
I
I
don't
will
got no
send
beef.
Dr. Quack a link.
Because
Baby.
I would love, like, honestly, I know we've had some shots back and forth for the past few weeks, but I would like his insight. I want, like, yes, he's saying he's good, his upset pick. I want to know more on why he thinks it's an upset pick.
Well, I've said it to him, and I believe this is Johnny Blade, who said he swept Boss last November,
You
which,
can help with that.
sure, go ahead.
I think that that's an upset pick that Quack is giving them is because Boss is your measuring stick when you come to HSP, right? Like, love Boss to death. Boss, my man, he cool. Ain't nothing personal. But promo wise, if you really a good promo artist, you will wipe the floor with Boss Link. Being real. And Draven, you got potential, brother. You do. You got a lot of potential, youngin. So this will be your measuring stick. I'm in the back cheering for you for real. I know when we first got on screen, I leaned into you a little bit, but I see the potential everybody else seeing in you. And I remember being you. I remember being in that position before. And you want to know something worse? When I was in your position, they was just deeming me as a tag team guy. You feel me? They was just deeming me as a lackey. So, bro, all you gotta do is just do your thing. Make sure you come out there and show that you just one of them one. You got
All
the
right.
potential.
Okay, before we go to Rig, you asked, he has answered. Please welcome him, the former president of Heart and Soul Promotions, Dr. Quack.
Quackers!
Hey, how's everybody doing?
So first
Welcome,
I
Dr.
asked
Quack.
John and of Dr. Quack, please let's keep this a civil discussion.
I'm
I have
I'm here in a
several-
professional manner. You know, this is what I do as a reporter and an analyst.
So
Dr.
we'll
Quack,
come to you in a moment, Dr. Quack. So Rig, it's your thought now. Dr. Quack's upset pick, Draven over Boss.
Well, first of all, man, Baby Gun, you kind of was nothing but a tag team lackey, but I'll discuss that in a minute. Anyway, man, I really just it's a hard one to say because I don't know a lot about Draven besides what I've seen when I came back, and he's definitely like Draven. You got a long way to go. I'm gonna keep it real with you, but boss is boss, and he ain't called boss for no reason, and he's not holding gold for no reason. I mean, he's been well known all across the promo universe. You definitely gotta. I mean, it's not no cakewalk match. It's not no. Oh, I give it my all for half the match, and then maybe I get it. No, you gotta bring all or nothing. My pick's got to be boss. I mean, it just depends. It really and truthfully, this is what it's going to come down to, and what it's going to depend on. What kind of mode is Bossolini going to be in?
All right. Dr. Quack, this is your time. You've made the prediction that Draven 666 will upset the Bossolini.
Yes, I made that prediction. I will tell you, I have fought both men in the past. I know quite a bit about Draven 666 from many years. I will say that I think, Boss is very, very lackadaisical at times. There is times where he comes on screen and he does not really put out the full-fledged effort. I think, because I've had a conversation with Draven. We've had one this weekend, yes?
Yes.
Draven? Yes, we did. And I think he's a little more determined. I think he's a little more, got a little more grit with him. I think it's going to really show in his matchup here.
All right. Well, since Boss is not on here, we do have somebody that gets to speak on Boss's behalf. So please welcome him to the show, a member of the executive committee, Rich Man. Sir, Rich Man joining us via phone because he's very busy. He's taking a break from one of his important business meetings to take a little time to defend Bossolini. Sir, this is your time.
Gentlemen, how are we doing tonight? I had to get on here because of the egregious statement that we are underdogging one of the tag team champions of Heart and Soul Promotions against Raven 666, and it's a damn travesty. All right, the fact that they cut him down and holds a title and for a record amount of time, and you guys are undercutting him to put this noob over. And I'm sorry for using this bad language, but this noob, you understand, has got more to do than just being a better promo artist than cut him down. By the way, while I'm off topic, has anybody heard from Storytelling? And I'm making some office calls. I'm trying to get in touch. The phone answers, and I don't hear anything.
I can't tell you, sir. I didn't hear the name you mentioned. Can you please say it again, sir?
I said Storytelling. I've been doing official business. I call the number that I have that belongs to him. It picks up, and I don't hear anything. Every time.
I've left a few messages with him to conduct an interview. He hasn't responded back to me either, so I don't know.
So we haven't heard anything either from the storyteller, but as soon as we hear anything, anybody member of the committee hears that, we will make sure we are all informed, sir.
But yeah, because it's urgent, pressing matters, issues, things that need to be. I've already said too much. Anyway, thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, but hey, Mr. Mayhem, let me answer Mr. Rich Man here.
Yes.
See, Boss, when he is a tag team champion, he is with, arguably one of the greatest promo artists of all time, A-List Alverson. When he is by himself, it all depends on what kind of mood he gets. Sometimes he comes out full force, and this time I don't think he does. I think he's actually not taking this match seriously.
All right. And Rich Man, since you're still online, did you want to retort Dr. Quack's assertion?
There's a lot to be said about how tag team dynamics play and what Boston is capable of on his own. But that title speaks for itself. The man is a powerhouse when he is at the ready and going. And to just undercut him is always the wrong decision, especially for the interest of the business.
All righty. Well, thank you, sir. You're allowed to hang out as long as you want, but we understand you'll have to go back into a meeting before too much longer. So we do thank you for giving us of your valuable time.
Absolutely. If I get too loud, you just use yell, okay?
All right. Thank you, sir. All righty. We've got someone else who's joining us here. Well, he is not a promo artist per se. He is a friend of the Dr. Quack podcast, a friend of Heart and Soul Promotions, and he wanted to join us and talk a little bit about this. He watches the shows, and he'd like to give his insight. Please welcome him from Big Will Spotlight, Big Will.
Hey, how's everybody doing tonight?
All right, so Big Will, we've been talking about this here, a long conversation about 2-minute, 4-minute versus live matches, and Draven 666 upsetting the Boss Bellini. So, while you've never promoed, you have been involved a little bit in the professional wrestling world. What's your thoughts on a long promo versus a short promo?
Oh, good googly moogly. It takes a lot more concentration to be able to go for long speeches as compared to short ones. The only way to do the 4 minutes is almost like you have to start rolling along, and that just doesn't work.
Okay.
So I mean, yeah, you gotta just find a happy medium,
All righty. And then, so let's move on to the next match. Since Rig has graced us with his presence, we're going to talk about the #1 contender for the Pure Heart title. The Purge won the chance to make a stipulation for this match, and he made this match no disqualification. So we will come to Rig last to give him a chance to speak on this, but Big Will, no disqualification. The Purge, Prince Blackheart, and Rig.
Oh, am I supposed to pick who I think would win just off the top of my head?
Yeah, just talk about the match. Talk about your thoughts on this. I know you've watched the goings on with this. You're familiar with all of them.
Well, first of all, I'd like to. Well, I mean, the first thing I got to do is welcome Rick back. I mean, I missed him. He was great back in the day. So if he brought that same fire back into the company for you, I mean, it might just actually come over as Rig. But need to sit down and catch up on everything.
All right. So, Young Gun, the no disqualification match: Purge, Prince Blackheart, and Rig.
I've been saying this for like the last 2 weeks. So I'm going with Purge. The only reason why I'm going with Purge is because, like, you can do almost anything, and you don't know what he's trying to do. Like, you can really put his arm around his guys, and it'll be very effective. And he can get the ball. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going with Purge.
All right, John.
I think Rig was talking about earlier how hell froze over. I'm afraid I'm going to have to say hell's freezing over because I'm going to have to side with Rig, knowing people know our history as it is. And Mr. Mayhem, I know that you missed somebody about the 2-minute, 4-minute live match, and our analyst reporter, Dr. Quack, never answered that.
I will come back to him on that one as when we get to him. So, Draven, your thoughts on this one? I know your tag team partner is Prince Blackheart, but what's your thoughts?
Well, obviously, I've got to stand by my partner. Obviously, I think he's going to give a great fight. Does he win it? I'm not sure exactly what mood he's in. We did have a conversation, and I think he seemed to be in the right frame of mind, but I'm not sure.
All righty. And Rich Man, if you are still on and available, if you'd like to speak on this no disqualification match, which I know you were not a fan of when Purge made that choice, but I want your thoughts if you'd like to offer them, sir.
Yeah, well, I don't want to spoil the goods and give anybody any impure ideas here, but no disqualification is a terrible idea for this matchup. Knowing the people that are involved, do you understand that Prince Blackheart could promo for 45 minutes? And if he does that, he wins because he'll be the last one left awake.
And that's true. That means there is no time limit. So
don't anybody tell him I said that, all right? Don't anybody. That stays right here.
Oh, I'm putting it on the page. You just wait. I'm quoting that.
Unbelievable.
But thank you for your thoughts on that, sir. So, Dr. Quack, first we're going to go with your thoughts on the triple threat, and then I want you to answer John's question: the 2-minute, the 4-minute, or the live, because you have competed, so you have an insight.
I have an insight, yes, and I have taken on all three of these guys, including Rig, in a no disqualification style match. I will tell you, Rig is very tough at this. This is definitely up his alley. However, I would say Purge is very deadly as well, because that guy, he definitely loves to think outside the box. He does not like to do the normal shit. And he's the one that made this rule, so he knows it very well that this is a no disqualification match. I think this is a 2-horse race. I feel sorry for Blackheart in this, because this is not his style going into a no disqualification.
All righty. And then 2-minute, 4-minute live. What's your thoughts on the difficulty level of each?
Well, I mean, the 4-minute is the standard. That's what 99% of promo are so used to competing. There's occasionally the 6, but yeah, I mean, that's not really the hard deal. Really, the hard deal is the 2-minute. The 2-minute is where you've got to put pretty much all your bullets right in one package. You got to fire them out all in one shot. No slip ups, no trips, no nothing. You got to go straight at it. It's very difficult. Live matches, yeah, they're also, can be challenging for some. If some people are scared to be on camera and have to think on their feet, and if they got to do 50 takes, they're not going to be able to do this. Live matches can be difficult for some, but I would go with the 2-minute definitely being the hardest.
All righty. So, Rig, your thoughts on this one? I know this is your specialty. You love no disqualification. You did something that a lot of people said would never happen. Rig beat the Tin Man.
And he also took on the late Dave Baker in a no DQ. Remember that? Yeah.
Yes, I do.
I did. And to most, this is a given. To most, everybody understands this is right up my alley and always has been. However, Mr. Mayhem, I was not informed of the time limit thing. I've always been told that is still included. But that's neither here nor there. Hi, Big Will. How you doing? We still need to do a promo match against each other, just for the record.
He's having a little communication issues.
But to sum it up in a nutshell, I mean, Draven, I'm glad to see that you got loyalty to your partner, man. But I used to be his tag team partner at one point in time, too, in another Fed. I taught him, man. That's all I'm going to say that. I'm going to leave that at that. They both lived in my shadow since the day that they came on screen. So it really doesn't matter what they bring. They still can't compete at my level. I think I proved very well on my first match back that there's no ring rust here. I'm still the one and only Interstate Rebel. I'm still the Highway Hellraiser. And I'm still the true Highway Outlaw. And there ain't no stopping me.
All right. Well, he's joined us now, and he's going to bring up his point here. So please welcome him to the show. One of the other opponents in this match, Prince Blackheart.
Greg. You forget one thing. Yeah, we were tag partners. But where was you before I picked you up?
Interesting.
Before you picked me up, no, I picked you up after I beat you.
With you and Purge, there's one domination. After I picked you up, you both went on to win gold.
And where do you stand?
I'm the longest reigning Empire fucking champion.
Ooh, Empire.
I got a question for Prince Blackheart. Have you ever beaten Rig in a one-on-one match?
Not yet, but
Whew.
there's like I said, there's come the dominator between all this. One, they both tagged up with me, went on to win gold, and then they ended up blaming tagging with a number one promo artist by the name of Heathen.
We
And
may
that's
need to
interesting.
check on.
I wanted to ask this to the young
That
gun
is fact.
because I want to hear what the young gun has to say on this one. So, tag team partners. We will point out it was well documented. The former feud between Heathen and Rig. Heathen got jumped, and the insinuation is Rig was involved in it. And
Of
then
course he
Heathen
was.
blew up Rig's truck, and they became friends after this. So, with Rig and Prince Blackheart, we're at one time friends, now enemies. Do you see that being something that we
We
have
ain't
to
enemies.
consider, or is it just they've gone their separate ways?
I mean, even though they both long-winded as hell, Rig has a certain style, Blackheart has a certain style. In my opinion, that style don't mesh well at all. Like I really wouldn't be able to see Rig tagging with Blackheart at all. I can't see that because the styles don't go well together, in my opinion. And no offense to y'all, I didn't even think that would be a successful tag team.
All righty. So, Draven and Prince Blackheart, would you guys be interested possibly in a match in the future? Trying to get yourself a shot at the Highway Hellraisers? Because here it's live.
We've been waiting. We've been waiting. Me and Draven's been waiting.
Whoa.
We haven't got to back down to anyone, but you talking
Don't do
about
that.
matches. Any of the cartel here?
Yeah, I
Yes,
am the cartoon
Rich Man
here
listening
because
in.
you.
Well, we're stepping up to you, boy. We're stepping up to you. You want some from the EAHS?
I
We're
just
ready.
beat your man.
We're waiting.
That was my fault. Come on.
We're waiting. We're ready. And this is a call out to the champs.
Oh.
We want you.
All right. Well, Dr. Quack, I want your thoughts on this. The cartel tag champs. We know Young Gun, or not, excuse me, not Young Gun, but Old School got himself his tickets sold off and has given it to the Highway Hellraisers.
Yeah.
We know that match is coming up sometime in the middle of March.
All right.
That match. So, what's your thoughts on Draven and Prince Blackheart being competitive against guys like the Cartel and the Highway Hellraisers?
Well, Draven and Blackheart, they know each other. They know each other very well. They know their strengths. They know their weaknesses. And that's going to help them in the tag team division. However, going against teams like, the Hellraisers and the Cartel who have won championships, it's going to be a challenge. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying go out there and give it everything you can. But it is definitely, you got to do your homework on these guys. I mean, all four of them are definitely highly credited as far as promo artists, single and tag.
And I want to add one more in here. When we started our recruiting for the tag team, one of the teams we wanted the most was Era of Reality.
Yeah.
And Era of Reality was never able to win that tag team title. So first I'll go to you, then I'll go to Young Gun about how tough it really is to win those tag goals.
Yeah, I mean, it is difficult. It is very difficult to win the tag team titles. The biggest thing for Young Gun is make sure your phone's charged. I swear. As long as that's there, I'm telling you, because they should have won that match against the Hellraisers long ago. But when he got knocked out of it, I mean, Mr. Wallace carried that team hard. And he is very tough to beat when it comes to a live match. So as long as that happens, you got a highly competitive fight if they get a shot at the titles.
That's true. So, Young Gun, I'll give you a chance to say something about that.
I'm a break the fourth wall a little bit with this. I was having a conversation with a tag team legend over here at HSP, and the real reason why I came back was to make the tag team division great again. When I seen that vignette trick with the cartel and storyteller and hashtag, that really turned me off. That made me a little upset because it's like the whole chill about HSP is turned into live tag matches. That's what makes this fun. But some of the best matches I've had is against the man that's sitting beside me right now. Even though I can't stand that motherfucker at times. Some of the best matches I've had has been tag team matches in a live format. So my whole goal was one to win singles goals because I've shown throughout the promo books that I'm one of the ones. And two, get back the tag division where it should have been, where guys like the American Wrestling and old school first came in, when Earl Reality was here, when the Highway Hellraisers was on Japan. You feel me? Like we need that back here.
All right, and Rich, man, I'll give you the last thought on this before we go into final thoughts. I know one of your big goals is to get the tag team division rolling again. What do you think about what we've been saying about these tag titles?
I think we need to have more tag team matches because the validity of the division has fallen to the wayside when every match is for the title. You can't develop a contender if there's no tag match.
That's a very valid point. That's a very true point. So let's take it into final thoughts here. We had a pretty spirited conversation. So Draven, final thoughts. Take us into Goldrush tomorrow.
Yeah, obviously, I know Bossolini for himself is going to be a challenge. But as people pointed out, he does slip up. And he does get lazy. And he thinks somebody is easy to beat. And I'm not no pushover. I'm not going to let him push me over. So, and I'm going to give him a wall that he's not expecting.
All right.
Yeah,
John,
but
go ahead. Finish your thought, sir.
yeah, one quick thing. Me and my partner, yeah, he said we won't back down to anybody, which is correct. We're not here to just be consolation prize or a walkover team. We've been friends for years. We know each other at the back of our hand. So it's not gonna be just because we're new to here, it doesn't mean that we've not spoken for hours and we don't know each other's style like we know our own.
All right. John.
So honestly, with what Draven's saying, Draven, you and your partner are gonna have to sit there and really fight hard because probably I've gone against the cartel, I've gone against the Highway Hellraisers, two of probably the best tag team duos to actually promote in general. When like look at the Hellraisers, they hit you fast, they hit you hard. Heck, they even make you laugh sometimes when they're even hitting you. They're probably one of the most entertaining duos when they're actually on it. And the fact that you have the cartel running around saying that they're the best, I have to beg to differ. And damn hell is freezing over. So I'm excited to see the show. I hope that you prove us wrong for those who think that you don't have a shot. We'll see what happens.
All right. Young Gun.
Go rush tomorrow, man. We got a lot of shit at play tomorrow, don't we? I get my opportunity to go after the Soul Side Championship. And I hope Cuban returns against Sadie because that's who I want at the end of the day. I need that. The other thing I'm paying attention to is that main event, Vagabond versus Mr. Wallace. I got Vagabond, and Vagabond is going to slap some reality into Mr. Wallace. And reality will be back in HSP because we all know y'all been missing. That's all I got to say, man.
All right. Rig.
Oh, I've sit back and I've silently, patiently waited to speak again. First of all, Quack, though it's good to see you on screen again. Watch
Likewise.
your tone. Watch your tone whenever you're talking about us. Because we all know we gave Wallace his credit for carrying that match the way he did, but there was no chance in hell, like, phone dying or not dying, that they would have ever took those titles off us.
I don't know.
Second of
Judges
all,
gave him a lot of 6s and 7s, didn't they?
they gave him a lot of 6s and 7s. They didn't give him, well, that way,
That's
whatever.
true. That's true.
There you go. Point being, because Young Gun, I mean, he again, tag team lackey. That he just said that's what drove him to HSP and everything else. Hence why that's what he was and what he's still going to be. But I digress on that for now. Look, all this talk about tag teams, y'all gonna see when the Highway Hellraisers goes against Cartel again, and we beat them again because they still have never beat us in a straight one-on-one tag team match. Then y'all just line up and we'll knock y'all down again, just like we did the last time. The reality and the simple matter of the case is it does not matter what tag team comes through Heart and Soul Promotions. They will never, ever achieve what Highway Hellraisers has achieved or will ever achieve. That's the reason why we hold the record. That's the reason why we were their inaugural. And that's the reason why come March or whenever they decide to get their head out of their ass and make that match, we're going to be tag team champions again. As far as everything else, look, y'all just sit back and enjoy the show tomorrow night. Destiny, prophecy, destiny, all of that is coming through and is being fulfilled. My brother's got his Soulfire title. I'm getting my chance to the title that I set my sights on. I mean, it's simple as that. Just wait and see what happens. And whenever the result that I told y'all was going to be the end result is what ends up happening, I don't want nobody coming and kissing my ass because I'm just going to toss you off like yesterday's garbage. Simple as that.
All right, Dr. Quack.
Well, I'm going to talk about something that wasn't brought up here, and that is the Pure Heart Championship match. Because on Friday, there's going to be either one of two headlines. He finally got over the hump or still champion. And right now, I think it's still champion. I want to see Vagabond come out here and really put it to him if he can. I mean, he's been coming out strong. He's listened. He's no longer using them voice changers very much. He's no longer using the graphics. He's coming with hard heat. I mean, he has a great chance to win it, but that's going to be one of the two headlines that's definitely going to be out of this place come Friday morning.
All righty. And Rich Man, the executive, take us home. Final thought.
Look, gentlemen, I don't want to express the final thought. I want to provoke the final thought. And here's what I'm going to tell you, okay? It was Mr. Wallace's fourth attempt at the Pure Heart title where he actually won.
Yes.
And does anybody off the top of their head know which shot at the Pure Heart title this is for Vagabond?
This is actually his 11th.
Officially, it's his 4th, you jackass, but that's the way I'm going. So listen.
Okay, well, we'll let you go with that.
Put that in your mind, rumble it around, watch the match, and find the winner.
All righty. Well, we've got one last thought here because he said final thoughts, no predictions on the other two matches, so he wants to talk about his match. Johnny Blaze.
No, I don't want to talk about my match. What I want to first of all, let me start by saying that I have no problem with anybody on here, even Rig. Rig always talks a lot of crap about me. I don't care. I think Rig's a great promo artist. I enjoyed your promo, Rig. You're great. You're great. You Young Gun. Young Gun was the only one smart enough to bring up the main event between Vagabond and Mr. Wallace. For you to give final thoughts, you want to start your stupid final thoughts without talking about, let alone my match. Okay, let's forget about that for a second. But you don't want to talk about Vagabond versus Mr. Wallace? What's the matter with you, Mayhem? Huh? You don't want to talk about my match, obviously, because I beat you in your very first pro wrestling match, and you've always held a grudge, and you've been bitter against me for that. So let's talk about what I'm going to do tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, I'm going to beat the hell, verbally that is, out of what's his name, Joey Douche, Joey Dick. I don't know what his last name is. I don't
I
care what
think
the D stands for. And then I'm going to
Johnny
go on
Blade,
and
I
face
think
either Boss or you, Draven. And if it's you, Draven, if you pull off this miracle upset that Quack thinks you're going to do, you're in for a long night, my friend. You take that to the bank. And Boss calling me out of my name, I got something for his ass. Young Gun. Man, I like you. You're awesome. Win your match so I can face you and beat your ass too. Because I promise you, man, I'm telling you right now, mark my words, mark this date. I will get my Soulfire title back, and I will defeat Heathen or Shady or you, Young Gun, whoever the hell it is. Next time, Mayhem, talk about me. Talk about me.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
forgot the lady's leg drop. I'm sorry.
I can tell you why we
Who is
didn't
that
bring it
guy
up
again?
because it's Johnny Blade taking on Spring Community College over there. Come on.
No. You got it wrong. It's Joey. I don't want to show up for a match.
Right. It is a squash. There's that's all you got to say. Squash. Somebody get a broom.
It's honestly the bathroom break match of the night where Johnny Blaze is going to finish it probably in 3 seconds. The fans are going to go crazy for 2 seconds, and then we move on to the next match.
All right. Well, the only reason we didn't talk about the other two is we spent a lot of time on the first show, the first polls, talking about those two matches. And I try and keep it an hour. I try not to hold you here too long. But I want to say thank you to everybody for joining us. Tomorrow night, all these matches we talked about, all 6 matches, they're going to be coming to you. Remember, we're starting off with that triple threat #1 contender for the Soulfire, AEP, Young Gun, and Sergeant Havoc. Make sure you tune in tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central Time. Join the Peanut Gallery. You can hang out and talk with Dr. Quack or make fun of Dr. Quack. Either way, he doesn't care. Just make sure you join us and make sure you comment. And I'll see you tomorrow.